Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 30, a milestone for us. We have reached 30 episodes of the African Do podcast, and it's a pleasure and privilege for us to have Mr. Cosmas Kamuyu, co-founder and CEO of Nellions Moving and Relocations Limited. Nellions is a moving company, so we are going to discuss about. We've never had anyone in this sector, and so this is going to be an interesting discussion. Cosmas, welcome to the African Do podcast.
Thank you, Leonard.
Yes. So, Cosmas, let's get straight into it and start. This is not a mainstream industry, yeah? So maybe we can go back to how do you find yourself? Where did you start, or where do you encounter this career to a level where you now have built not just one, but you have been party to building multiple businesses in this sector. So maybe tell us a bit about your past and how you find yourself in this sector.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
once more, I'm honored and privileged to be in this show today. And let me start by saying our industry is what I would describe with 3 Ds.
Yes.
Difficult, disliked, and some people consider it maybe dangerous even to be in, and dirty as well.
Yes.
Probably even there are 4 Ds. Yes, and how did I find myself here? I used to work for a company that was a large company in Kenya then that was actually quoted in the stock market, just fresh from university.
Yes.
Many years ago. And we used to have a small division that was called packing and removals. Never mind, I was not in that department. I was in the finance office. I was a credit control manager in that company. But after many years, like 10 years of working there, I could always tell there was a struggle with people when they were relocating from homes and offices. There are not many players in the industry, and the market was just too niche out there, only and very expensive at the same time. Only maybe top CEOs or expatriates or foreigners could afford the service. And at the same time, after some years, the company itself was facing its own struggles. And I could see like managers being fired, and the job uncertainty was not there. The economy was not growing. You remember, this was around just after the turn of the millennium. So a growth rate 1% or even negative in the country. So
yes,
the job market was getting very, very tough. And I always had this thing that I don't like this uncertainty that we live here. So I will not say that I loved moving. I didn't even know much about it, but it's like more, what can I do to be a bit more, feel like I'm in control of my life? And so we partnered with like 4 other people that used to work with that company. By then, actually, when we were starting, I think all of them had left for different reasons. Only I was in the company. So we decided to start a moving company that time. And I actually quit my job, and we formed a company that many of you might know called Cube Movers. I was one of the founders there.
Yes.
Yes, and I quit my job. I resigned. I went there to start doing sales and marketing. And I had no idea what that was.
Yes.
What was sales and marketing? Yes. All I knew was credit control in my life, finance. So, but I said I'll try and do it, and I immersed myself in learning, and
So you see this. You're in a corporate environment, straight out of university, and you now encounter this, and you see the opportunity, and 4 of you leave as a result of performance and the nature of the environment. But what opportunity did you see, or did the 4 of you see, based on what you had in your corporate entity, or this small division of the corporate entity? What opportunity did you see that made you say, okay, I think we can either do this better? Because I remember Cube Movers, and Cube Movers was quite if I dare say, a breath of fresh air for the market in general. And I think it was the fast-moving company to bring, I would say, moving to the masses. and take it from where you originally started by telling us that it was something for the expatriates and maybe C-suite employees who are coming in and out of the country or moving towns, but it was not something that was, used by the masses. So what did you see and how did you now start building a company that takes advantage of that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Out of my own experience, and that's why I did not hesitate, I used the company to move my house when I moved, and it was very, very easy.
Yes.
Then I would tell this to my friends. Oh, if you like to move, I can help you through our company, and you only pay a small fee because I'll have your move booked under me in the company, and you get nice service. I realized that the demand was actually there.
Okay.
In the Kenyan middle class, they needed to move with dignity. They needed to move with a peace of mind and with predictability. Moving, as I said, is dirty, difficult, disliked, and disruptive. So out of my own experience and of the rest of my colleagues, we knew that the middle class was not being served at all by anyone. And that's the opportunity, that's a gap that we saw, we thought we would make use of. And so we tried.
Okay.
Would I say it was easy trying? Not quite, because business at the end of the day is still business. I remember I thought about that whole process of living and going into entrepreneurship for a whole 1 year. And I remember buying a book by Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes.
Called Before Quitting Your Job. I bumped on that book by accidentally, and
Yes.
I bought it. And I used to read it, sometimes even in traffic jams, because traffic jams were crazy that time. You were stagnant somewhere for 10 minutes, I would read the book. So I used to have it in my car. So a friend of mine saw it one time in my car, and he really dissuaded me. You are reading that book. Are you crazy? I told him, yes, I'm reading the book. You are planning to? Yes, I said, I'm planning to. What do you want to do? I want to go into moving. Moving from where are you going to get clients? He made me think like I'm actually crazy.
Yes.
But I still wanted to pass. It's a friend I respected.
Yes.
And I decided I would still read the book to the end and I will pursue what I wanted to do. But it made me think, really, it might not work, because I even had no idea how we'll get clients, how to market, how to do the processes and everything. But I knew there was a market because of what I had seen. And my colleagues also knew there was a market. So it was more determination. Then we went in and did what we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you now get into this. Maybe I can take you a bit and let's speak a bit about capital. Yeah. Your requirements for from my layman's understanding of the moving and relocation space. Yeah. Is you have to have your own vehicles, either you buy them or you lease them. So what was the initial capitalization journey for your new business? Did you self-fund? Did you borrow money? Or did you say, okay, everyone bring in this much? Or how did you handle the raising of capital to form your first venture?
For the first venture, we just did some basic analysis or listing of the requirements that we needed at that time.
Yes.
And we told ourselves to start small, and build organically.
Yes.
And so we came up with a figure. I can't remember. It's probably something like 3 million that time, or probably less. And then we agreed to share it out equally.
Okay.
As the initial capital.
Yes.
And that's how we did it. And we never had to raise more capital.
Other than that initial one?
We never did.
Oh, wow.
We never did. We never did. We just grew with it.
Yes.
I think our initial was like 2.5 million. Then after a short time, I think we added like 500,000 shillings, that's 100,000 per person because we are 5 of us.
Yes.
And that's all we did.
Okay.
And we never, the rest of it, we grew through borrowing from banks and all that. So I remember the first time we bought these 2 old trucks. And then we hired an office, which was part of a warehouse in industrial area. And we started operating from there. Yeah. So it was sustainable and cheap, and it helped us to at least set base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Let's transition now from Cube, because you're not at Cube anymore. You've been at Nellions. So you've set out and with your partners, you formed Cube Movers, which did have a significant impact on the market. But you then transitioned out into another venture, which is where you are now, which is Nellions Moving and Relocations. So what was that transition like? And what triggered it to make you say, okay, now maybe it's time to go somewhere else and chart a different path?
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's probably a story I've not told enough.
Okay.
And it's not a bad story.
Mm.
I think when people are starting businesses, most of the time you start with like, we're in this space, we have this idea with this gap that we can meet, and we know each other.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's a lot of businesses start that
Agreed.
way.
Yeah.
And after some time, about almost 10 years of operating in Cube, I personally felt some lack of satisfaction of what was going on. The company had grown. It was a big name. I was always in the media myself because I was leading business development. And
Yes.
I'm naturally, I would call myself a very innovative person.
Yes.
So I would go for, what I think would work. And many of ideas worked.
Yes.
Many did not work,
Yes.
but we celebrated victories. But then at some time, I reflected. I thought maybe we are not properly aligned with some of my colleagues. We are working there. 3 of us were executives, 2 are non-executives.
Yes.
I thought that it's probably time. I'm feeling a bit more frustrated, and I don't feel like it's not a good thing. I have a passion for work myself.
Yes.
But if I feel like pushing myself to wake up to go and do what I like is maybe not a good space. I also thought that we were not properly aligned in what was the strategy and the direction the company would go. And so I opted myself to leave the company, and that's what I did. I sold my stake.
Yes. Oh, you sold your stake?
Yes, I sold my stake, and
Okay.
I now looked for new partners.
Okay.
By then, my mind was fully immersed into the moving industry.
Yes.
When we were starting the company, we were thinking about local moving,
Yes.
moving the middle class and between Nairobi across the country. We did a lot of that. But then after 8 or 9 years in the industry, I learned that the bigger game was actually even out there.
International moves. Moving someone from there all the way to
to wherever, to whichever part of the country.
Yes.
To and from. By then I had become an expert in that field of international relocations, and I thought that this is the biggest pivot I need to make.
Okay.
And so when I started now Nellions, I called in fresh partners to partner with me. Our focus was now to take the moving industry to that international level. That's where we need to play.
Yes.
We need to benchmark with no one locally, because we had learned that despite all the growth that had happened in the industry, after Cube, like so many other companies that have sprung out, and many of them are people I trained personally or even recruited. They will come and then they go from their companies, and it's okay.
Yes.
But then I realized that there's still another bigger game for us to participate in that as an international level.
Yes.
And so that was our mindset. And my mindset now when we are starting Nellions, that we are benchmarking only internationally.
Okay.
Our standard operating procedures.
And how do you go ahead?
All our approaches to doing our work should be referenced against what is the international benchmark.
And how do you then, because you're Kenyan based, so how do you then complete the loop? Because if people are moving, let's take an example of someone who's relocating for work from Nairobi to Dubai. How do you then complete the loop on that end? Is it strategic partnerships, or how do you connect the dots such that when you park them and move them here, someone takes over from the other end? How do you do that? Do you then, from partnerships? Is there an association you join, or how do you go about that, setting up those linkages?
Good. As you know, there are the world is made of so many countries.
Yes.
And each country operates as an ecosystem of business of its own. Yes. So the way the industry operates at that level is through partnerships and building relationships. But it is much easier said than done, because moving is a trust business. Most of the time, when you are moving somebody with their possessions from like 1 foot, 20-foot container or 40-foot container from Kenya to wherever, those are the only possessions they own on this earth.
Yes, indeed.
And many of them don't even have any other assets, believe it or not, even locally. You find whatever other assets, they are very small of, and then these items are normally of sentimental value, a lot of it. It's not about whether money can buy it or not. There are so many other things. It's memories, it's people's history and all that. So you will build the partnerships, you have the relationships, but what counts most is who are you? That partner in Dubai, that partner in the US, how can they trust you? How do they know that you're actually not going to tell them that their goods, the container fell off Mombasa Road and their goods disappeared, they cannot be found?
Yes.
Having said that, yes, we are members of International Association of Movers. That is the largest worldwide industry association for all for the entire moving industry in the world. It has got like more than 3,000 members.
Yes.
So we are members of that association. I actually personally sit in the board, one of the boards called the core members board of that association.
Okay.
We are only 2 of us in Africa.
Okay.
Sitting in that board.
Yes.
Yes, I've been there now for 2 years.
Okay.
They are representing the continent.
Yes.
So we are in that board, we are in that association, and you also have to play your role there. You have to read to the members, you have to attend conferences for people to see you and confirm, oh, this is the Cosmas we see.
Yes.
You are the one.
Yeah.
You sometimes have to write articles in the magazines that require some contributions are required for you to show that you are actually in there, that people can trust you. Because again, at that level, the way that business is done is not sometimes even direct.
Yes.
They are what we call relocation management companies.
Yes.
That are global. And they go checking. When, for example, a multinational is moving their employee to Nairobi, they don't normally contact you. They can contact through another agent or through another organization there, and then they vet who they can reach out to.
Yes.
So you have to play your role, and you have to prove through action and recommendation that you actually trusted. It's an organization, also as a person. Yeah. So we also belong to the British Association of Removers, and we also belong to the Pan American International Movers Association called PAIMA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in all those associations, you have to show your face, you have to participate, you have to be in the game for a while.
Yes.
For a while.
And I would assume you would first have to establish yourself locally to a level where they would accept to talk to you. I'm sure they're not talking to anyone.
They don't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
In fact, some of them do verification.
Yeah.
Checking, do you have assets? Are you asset-based? Moving is divided at that level. There's what we call asset-based moving companies and non-asset-based moving companies, location companies.
Okay.
If you say you're asset-based, you have to check, do you have vehicles? Do you have employees? Do you have a warehouse? Because you cannot do international moving without a warehouse.
Okay.
Because most of the time, the goods have to pass through a warehouse.
Yes.
They do all these checks. They are thorough. So you have to be seen that you actually have the capability.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have to be recommended by other members that they have actually done business with you for you to be trusted to move forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's taxing, but yeah.
But you've cracked it. Let's speak about let's leave Nellions a bit and speak about the industry. Yeah. And just for the benefit of myself and the audience, let's understand this movings and relocations space better. Because like any business, I'm sure you meet policy hurdles. Where do you sit? I was trying to think to myself, where would I place this business in terms of, like, for example, I'm a hospitality person. In a Kenyan context, our parent ministry is the Ministry of Tourism. All of us, restaurants, hotels, that's where we get our laws and lobbying and all that. So where does that, just for our understanding and further conversation, where does moving and relocation sit in terms of industry in the nation?
Wow. Sometimes I also get confused where we sit.
Okay, so I should be relieved.
Yes, you should be relieved.
Yes.
First thing,
yes,
in Kenya, there's no law. There's no act of parliament. There's no any legislative document covering our industry. There is not even a judicial precedent or case about a moving company that, moving is supposed to be like that. There's nothing to refer to.
Really?
So there is that gap. Is it good? Is it bad? Yes, in some ways it's very bad because then the entry barrier is very low. Anyone would just think I can come, I just need a truck and some boys and, and say I'm moving and go to downtown Nairobi, get some t-shirts and write ABC moving, and then, they're even having t-shirts. Anyone can do that, and people do that a lot.
Yes.
On top of that, we don't have even a local industry self-regulation, like our own association for moving companies.
Yes.
A few attempts have been made in the past by a few people, and they have not quite worked because sometimes we go in there and then you find how do we set up the rules and the requirements and for us to work, and how are we going to preach this gospel across the industry? We have not quite, the former players who are there, managed to do that because of maybe of lack of understanding of what is our common problem, or what is our common challenge that we want to resolve or to solve. So the space is that it is that loose as we speak. Having said that, how I've done it all through is by building our own capabilities and our own rules and requirements. As I just said, I decided very deliberately that we are only going to benchmark with international standards. So we have to build like our SOPs, standard operating procedures, from zero. We have very many. I lost count when they were around like 20 or 25.
Yeah.
Very many, covering everything about what we do.
Yeah.
And because there's no school to teach people about moving. And I would say this and people ask, hey, you mean to learn moving? Yes, there's so much to learn about how to handle people's stuff. There's so much to learn how to take care of. There's so much about people's property. These are life possessions. There's so much to teach people about communication within that moving space. This is the only space where people come to work in your bedroom. If I asked you the last time you saw people in your bedroom, you'd actually be surprised. It hardly happens, but movers do that actually.
Yes.
They come to your kitchen, they come to your very most intimate places of your house.
Yes.
So there's so much that would go into that teaching and training. So anybody who seriously wants to be in this space and do the job well has to invest in a lot of self-training. You're in hospitality.
Yeah.
Most of you go through Tali or the Boma Institute or such colleges. We hear Amboseli Institute of, there are many that we hear teaching. But in our industry, there isn't. So every company has to kind of think about its ways of doing it. Otherwise, when you let people loose out there, the standards can be compromised, and generally that's why our industry has a bad name. If you ask about movers, people people will say not very nice things generally, because the job itself is not easy.
Yes.
It's stressful. I don't know if you ever heard this analogy that's been told that moving is the third most stressful thing in the world after the death of a loved one and divorce. The third is moving.
Yeah.
It's a study that was done in the US a few years ago.
Yes.
So in itself is that high pressure environment for people.
Okay.
So what the space is still out there, not well controlled or well contained, but even the government doesn't probably know we exist except KRA.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that's the space it is. So everyone has to kind of curate their own
space.
Yeah.
Tell me, because you're a member of various organizations that you have mentioned, international associations, is there what is in other jurisdictions? What's the best case? Is there? You said you're a member of a US body, you're a member of a British body, and in one of these you're one of only two in Africa. So is there legislation in other jurisdictions that covers the sector, such that if we are aspiring to legislate our sector in Kenya, we can start somewhere?
Yes. In nearly all the developed markets, every country there is a law that regulates and governs moving. For example, in the US, I think they have got two pieces of legislation. I'm not sure what it does, but what I know, for example, is that you are either registered as an interstate mover, you can do within the US country, or you are localized to your state.
Or a state mover.
Yes, it's a state mover.
Yeah.
It's there. Even in the UK, there is law. I think in Africa, it's probably South Africa where there is a law.
Okay.
I'm not sure even Egypt has, but the last time I checked, someone was telling me they're trying to work on it.
Okay.
So in the developed countries, yes, there are laws. And in every country, all those countries, they have also local self-regulation through their own bodies, whereby they say, these are the rules how we operate. You get a number, maybe a registration number, a certificate. Maybe your trucks are supposed to be branded in this way and have your number to show that you are a member of this. There are all those kind of things in those countries, and it helps for them to deal with cases whereby some players misbehave or they break their code of conduct or their rules.
Yes.
But in our case, so far there isn't, probably because the market is still growing and they still emerging and all that. Yeah, but ideally, that's the best way to go.
Okay.
They also have, in those countries, serious training programs. For example, we are members of the British Association of Removers. We sometimes take their courses. Yeah. We do we pay online courses, we buy them, we participate in their workshops and all that. Same in the IAM, we also have our employees participating in those their courses, and we get certified.
Okay.
So they train, the associations do the training on behalf of the employees a lot of times, and then they certify. And then the government, through whatever authority they have, they do regulation and filing of returns and all that, just to ensure that the industry has an order.
Okay.
In our case, that is yet to happen. But I believe it's going to come.
It's coming.
Yes.
And I think one of the things, as you're talking, I'm also reflecting on past episodes of the podcast that we have had. And one of the conversations I recall was in episode 21, we had a former legislator called Sammy Ware as a guest. And Sammy made a very interesting comment, which has stuck to me and is relevant on multiple episodes of the podcast that we have had. And he said, I want to get this right specifically. He says, Kenyan legislators need to understand that they can legislate Kenyans into prosperity. So he says that's a connection that has not been made. And that's why legislators are fighting for CDF and other things. But legislation, and I think you have curated the perfect example, because if you legislate your sector well, to international best case, what do? You open up opportunity, you bring order, you start, and then that becomes a business opportunity.
Yeah.
So that, as you are speaking to that, I just thought of that comment. But let's go to something that you said when we were talking off camera that I think is a good thing to segue into now that we have talked about legislation. You say that one of your biggest challenges in running Nellions is talent. Yeah. Now, I'm sure in a Kenyan and African context, most laymen like myself would be surprised by that statement, because we assume that, like you say, get a truck, get people who are strong and can lift things and put the things in the truck and move. But walk us through your talent journey and what you've seen are the gaps in that space of moving and relocations with regards to talent, and how we can unlock that potential for the nation.
Yeah, talent is a very, very big issue for the industry, probably bigger than capital, because capital, you can go to a bank if your financials are all adding up and you have got a track record. You always get, I've never been turned away when I went to the bank to look for money for whatever I wanted to do.
Okay.
Never. I've never been turned away.
Okay.
So, and equally, even when I was raising the first capital to start Nellions, there is nobody I asked to partner with me to do the business risk capital that turned me away.
Yes.
They all came on board.
Yes.
Easily. I think probably because they knew me and what I stood for. But talent is a challenge. Why is it a challenge? One, as I said, there is nobody who trains movers. If you go to a school, any school, talk to people who are leaving from 4, and I ask them what they like to become, which industry they like to join.
Yes.
You are more likely to hear people talking about, they will talk about the big companies, going to finance, banking, what you're working for, the big telcos and all that. And even those who go for the lower, like blue-collar jobs, they could mention other things like becoming maybe even a vendor in a market, or even being a matatu tout. Nobody will tell you about moving. They have no idea such an industry exists, or they can even make formal careers out of it. Yet, at Nellions now, we are on 11th year. I've got people who are movers, drivers, who have worked for us for 10 years.
Wow.
So they have made careers out of these,
yes,
these jobs. There have some guys who followed me from my when I left Cuba, and they came to work with me in Nellions. They have been in the industry for almost 20 years.
Yes.
This is how they have educated their children. They have even bought property, and they are now heading towards retirement, and they're happy.
Full careers.
Full careers.
Yes.
But what people mistake our industry to be, they confuse it with like, oh, you just need to be physically strong because you are supposed to be carrying and lifting stuff. More or less confusing our job with like construction, mjengo, kind of, you know? But the skill set required for a mover is very, very different. This is not the job you wear an overall to go and work. Like, it's not full of dust. You are going to, heaven's sake, to an ambassador's bedroom. You go there with an overall. Your mindset must be very, very different. This is a place where you're supposed to handle things with care. How do you change this mindset from this guy who thinks this is a blue-collar work to think this is where I'm supposed to apply care?
Yes.
I'm supposed to apply very good communication skills. Sometimes you are dealing with a foreigner. About 50% at Nellions, 50% of our revenue comes from international moving, actually 58%. Yes.
Okay.
What does that mean? The mindset of these people you're meeting, they don't even sometimes speak Swahili. Their background, their cultural background is very, very different. How you relate with them, and it's about people. These are people business. So that's the first thing, training people. There's a reason why good restaurants and hotels ask people to go to utalii.
Yes.
To be trained about how to cook.
Agreed.
Everybody knew cooking. You have been cooking all through. By the time you are 20, you have been cooking for yourself in your home.
Yes.
But there's a certain way you are supposed to be taught how to cook.
Yes.
How to present yourself.
Agreed.
How to talk to clients. That is for the first challenge. So what we normally do is that once we get people, we have to train them about basic things, but it's such a challenge because we train them and many of them go to work with competition. It's okay. I don't mind doing it, but indeed I can say even right now that we are now in the final stages of formalizing our training academy. We have been having Nellions Academy running within the company, a training arm of the company for the last 8 or so years.
Yes.
But now we are registering it to become a full TVET. That's where we are heading.
Okay.
And we want to train for the industry, seriously. Because we have had requests even from our partners as far as Uganda and Tanzania.
Yes.
Uganda, we have an office, so we know the market there a bit. Tanzania, we don't, but I have got friends there telling me, Cosmas, once you open this TVET, I want to send my guys there for you to come and train for a while. Because the gap is still there. It's all over the continent.
Yes.
So I just want to hammer that point that talent is a big challenge because most of it comes raw, untrained, and in an industry where they just came to try because I'm jobless. I don't have work. So when they come, I normally ask new joiners, why are you here? They'll tell you, I have passion for moving. I tell you, don't tell me you have passion. You never knew moving until maybe you found out an opportunity. You are just looking for money. And that's okay. We all started that way. But then after 6 months or 1 year, I asked them, hey, why are you still here? I mean, I thought you are probably just hanging around here as you wait for something else. I now like the job. Fine, it's paying my bills and all that. So it's a high time we made it formally a career that someone can thrive and grow and give value.
Okay.
So talent is at that level is very, very big. But then also coming to the management or the mid-management levels, like you are looking for a good salespeople or good managers. We are at a SME space in an industry that, again, not known or even respected. Not many people want to work for companies like ours.
Yes.
Basically, they want to work in the telcos. I want to work in a bank. I want to work with an international NGO. I want to say where I work is a prestigious organization. So by the time you get your talent, the best has gone most of the time to the large organizations where young people feel like, yes, this is where I want to belong. So for us, it's always not easy to get, and I would love to see one SME that says, talent is very easy. At that level of the strategic thinkers, people who have an innovative mindset, people who are doers and go-getters, not many of them want to be at this space. They want to be at the big, yet we need them to grow. So when we, to go to that level.
Yeah.
So that is always a challenge I've always found, even from my CUBE days, even to date, I still find that attracting and retaining top talent is always a challenge. I do have very good people, to be honest, at that level. But one of the things that sometimes keeps me awake at night is wondering, what if they left? How easy would it be to get more, or even to get fresh people and train them to that level? That sometimes gives me goosebumps.
Allow me at this point to just compliment you. You know, it's not often that you see someone who basically takes on an industry-wide challenge. You know, most of us get stuck in our little entity and trying to make it thrive and work. But for you to reach a stage where you say you are forming an academy, I think that speaks to an outlook that is bigger than yourself or bigger than Nellions. Because if you do train these people well, what you're contributing to is the definition of the sector, you know, and where the sector will go. So I just thought to give you that compliment while you're sitting. Yeah. We're learning to give our flowers when the people are here. So please take my compliments for that.
Thank you for that, Leonard, that I appreciate, and it's true, really, is a decision we have taken as a company that we have to do something for the industry.
Yes.
Because we started in Uganda, about 5-6 years ago, Nellions moving and relocations in Uganda, in Kampala. And the same problem persists. We have to juggle our time here and deploying resources to train even across that country. The same challenges I think we have at Nellions, despite having spent so much money training people. I believe even our competitors in Kenya have it. Many of them will tell you, oh, we have our trained staff. Where are they? Show me where they got trained. Show me how they got certified. Show me, show me how they, many people train like just basic hands-on and learning by go and all that.
Yeah.
But we believe that now it is a time we do it differently. We have curated the skill sets required for a mover, and there are many.
Yeah.
Probably about 45 or 50 there are specific things they need to know for them to become, like
good movers,
and you can be sure you can send them somewhere and they know what to do. So we thought that it is very, very important for the industry because our country is growing. It's a high time that we elevated our moving standards to the global stage. I meet partners. I have friends all over the world through the industries and the border that I serve. You hear that in some countries like in the Netherlands, the productivity level of one mover is almost double the level of a Kenyan mover.
Okay.
Because we use data a lot. We track the amount of time they take to do a certain task, like maybe packing and loading a container. We take double that time. Why? Why? It's because of skilling.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because of skilling, it's because of training. And you find then our margins become low for our jobs. We spend, our costs are high and therefore our margins are low. We are not efficient, right? And then the job itself becomes, the execution becomes a bit not so smooth because of, those gaps. So we think that one more client out there having a bad experience, even if it's in the hands of a competitor, is not good for the industry.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Cosmas, let's delve into something that you have just raised in your previous comment, regional expansion.
Yeah.
You talked about 5-6 years ago going into the Ugandan market. Yeah. So walk us through that journey. Yeah. One, what triggered it? You were a Kenyan company. You're still in the process of operating in this. But what made you say, yes, let's try, and why Uganda? In an East African context, what opportunity did you see in Uganda that made you say this is going to be our first foray out? And then, in relation to that, what are your future growth and development ambitions around Africa, the continent, and so
on? Thank you. We went to Uganda towards 2019, or in the middle of 2019. And basically because we knew the challenges they had in Uganda were like Kenya. I knew that.
Yes.
I had friends in Uganda in the industry. I was also in the international moving cycles as a member of the IAM, and I would go for conferences. I don't see anyone from Uganda at all. And if I saw people that were normally foreign companies that were owned and controlled by foreigners.
Yes.
So I knew the Uganda middle class is much smaller than Kenya, but I still thought the opportunity was still there, even in Uganda, because they might be behind Kenya in terms of the way development and the mindset and everything else, but I knew the challenges were just almost the same in terms of lack of formidable and reliable players. So, and I also checked, I had done a bit of visibility there. I wouldn't call it market sizing, but just checking, who is in the industry, who is there, what are they going through. I had at one point been requested by an international moving company to go to Uganda and do a survey in Uganda on their behalf to move somebody from Uganda to Kenya. And I did it. They pay for my flight to Uganda just to go there and survey. That told me enough that here there's, there's an opportunity. So yeah, that's how we started. But then as soon as we started in 2019, COVID happened in 2020, and Uganda was shut down for almost 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean we didn't do work. We continued working under those challenges, and we continue to do so. But I would say the market is still very different from ours. We are operating profitably, albeit the growth has not been as what we expected to happen, because we have to learn so many things and learn and change. But yes, we are getting there, and we are so far happy with what has happened.
Okay.
Going forward to other countries, we have been thinking about it. Like probably we'll go to Tanzania, but I heard 2 days ago that Tanzania said small businesses are not going to be licensed there anymore. I don't know what that changed. Tanzania has been that kind of a love and hate relationship with Kenya. So it's a bit tricky. I had at one point even gone there to do my own research and I found partners to work with. But what we do now in Tanzania, we have a dedicated partner with who we co-share business and profit share when business happens. But we are not intending to go there anytime very soon.
Okay.
However, our big plan and actually our mission right now is to elevate mobility in Africa to global standards. Yeah, that's the mission of Nellions Moving and Relocations Company.
Okay.
So we want to impact Africa. One of the things we want to do is through training. That's why we are opening up our academy to that level, and we are going to have all sorts of training, even online and all these kind of classes all over the continent. That's our plan. And after that, we look away. We are thinking about a way how we can get in touch, to set our footprint into various countries, obviously starting with what is closer to us. But we thought without training first, we will still struggle with the challenges. Because I also have friends in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi. I do a lot of moves to all those countries.
Yes.
And I see that problem about skilling. So I feel that is a challenge I need to overcome first.
Okay.
Before saying, oh, let me come here and set foot. Yeah.
So this conversation that is taking place around the continent, around a borderless Africa, freedom of movement among Africans, freedom of relocation, freedom of work within the African, it's still early stage, but that must be a very exciting conversation for a business like yours, because inevitably, if the Africans are allowed to move everywhere, that would be an excellent. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, I believe you are referring to the African continent free trade.
The free trade agreement, but even now the charter, you know, if you see the charter on the interwebs, if you look at Kenya, we recently, I think it's now 2 years since we got visa-free access to South Africa.
Yes.
And that has really, I've seen it on the tourism side, it has really boosted across South Africa, Kenya tourism numbers. We hope, at least I hope from where I sit with my tourism and hospitality hat, to see more of that. I would assume it would be the same for you.
Certainly, it's such a very, very good. All those initiatives are very, very good for everybody. Because at the end of the day, I think what the market needs, what the world needs, is to pay for value. Whoever delivers true value, they earn out of it. And this opening up the space for people to do business and to move freely and work wherever they and deliver value, the way they know it, is to me is such a fantastic thing. I don't understand, actually. I get frustrated. Why don't these things move faster? I find them moving
I hear you
slowly. I don't understand. Like CFTA, we have been talking for
years.
For years now. This country has ratified, I don't know how many countries. We are going to the implementation phase. If you ask me on the ground, I don't see much. Why is there not a road cutting across all the way from Kenya over to Central Africa to Nigeria, a highway?
Agreed.
I don't understand. Because that's what would make it, believe it or not, Leonard, it is cheaper by probably 30 or 40% to ship a container from Nairobi to London, to set a container, than to take to Zimbabwe.
What?
Yeah.
It's cheaper to ship a 40-foot container from Nairobi to London than it is from Nairobi to Zimbabwe.
By far.
Wow.
By far. By probably 30.
Wow.
25-30%.
Wow.
Now, don't think about West Africa, the likes of Cote d'Ivoire or...
Yes.
Or
it will be double, triple.
It's just unimaginable.
Wow.
It's just unimaginable. So...
okay. Cosmas.
It's just unimaginable. That's the way it is.
No, Cosmas. Wow. Thank you very much. One, for accepting to come on to our podcast. I think I'm walking away from this with a lot of questions, seeing even a greater opportunity, understanding your sector better. And that is what we aim to do in the podcast, which is curate African stories, African experiences, and also to provide a platform for growth. I think I'll now invite you to just speak to the audience and tell them who is Nellions or where they can find Nellions. I'm sure there are many who are thinking about moving. There may be some from our wider African audience who may want to contact you to explore joint opportunities together. So I'll give you that opportunity to give a Nellion speech to the audience.
Thank you. Nellions Moving and Relocations is a Kenyan-owned and Kenyan-managed business. We say that we are international moving experts that also happen to be very good in local moving. We do moving, we do more of homes, offices. We also do international relocations, and we also do storage. Actually, we have got about 20,000 square feet of storage where we mainly store used household goods and office effects. All those go-downs are based here in Nairobi. We also operate in Uganda, in Ntinda complex. We have also 2 small go-downs there, not very small, probably about 5,000 square feet. And we employ in both markets about 60 employees. And we also, as I said, run a moving academy called the Nellions Academy for Training Movers, which we want to convert into a TVET. We're actually taking our first cohort in September this year, and we have actually a dedicated campus, which is going to be training movers. And it's running with like a college, with an academy, and with that principal and with the proper faculty to teach and to ensure that we have the right people joining the industry and working for us and making meaningful careers and creating value to their lives and to their families. So we are based in Kilimani on Moringa Road in Nairobi, and anyone who wants to reach us can find us on nellions.co.ke, where they can also find us on Instagram or Facebook and Twitter. We also have a Nellion shop where we sell moving supplies like boxes, packing tapes, bubble up, sealer, any stuff that you need to pack something for your home organization. This is the one of its kind only shop actually in Kenya, probably in East Africa, where you can find specialized items that you need for your own personal packing. And we do deliveries everywhere. The shop can be found also on nellions.co.ke/shop, where you can buy all those items, and delivery can be made for you all over Kenya. So thank you so much for watching, and I truly appreciate your time.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have found that as great as of value as I have. That was Cosmas Kamuyu, co-founder and CEO of Nellions Moving and Relocations Limited. And that was episode 30 of the African Do podcast. And we hope you will subscribe to our channel on YouTube and Spotify and keep listening as we tell stories of Africans executing excellently. Thank you very much, and see you in the next episode. Sante.